Old Impey doesn't exactly mince words, does he?
I think he calculates his effects.
You've got to do a great deal better, a great deal more swiftly, if old Jerry ain't to hang. Well, of course he calculates his effects. He needs a big stage, too. Drawing-room comedy ain't his style.
Well, it may not be his style, Peter, but he's right just the same.
Well, old Parker Bird, having been cut down to size, where do you suggest we go from here?
Well, we have 3 courses to follow. 1, we must try to establish the Duke's alibi from external sources. 2, I think we should re-examine all the evidence afresh. And 3, well, by this time, with any luck, the French police may have dug up something useful on Cathcart's past history.
Good lucid stuff, Charles. And as regards re-examining the evidence, I think I know exactly where we should start. Grider's Hole.
Grider's Hole?
Mm-hmm.
What, that bloodthirsty farmer that set his dogs on him?
Fellow with a stunning wife, a sort of dark Madonna of the burning south.
Do you mean he could be jealous of her?
He is, ferociously so. In fact, the way he behaved when I was there, he definitely had somebody in mind. I thought it was our number 10.
George!
Well, now we know he couldn't be, so who have we got left?
Well, practically any bright local lad with a bicycle and enough guts to play Don Juan when he knew Grimthorpe wasn't going to be around.
No, I won't go along with that, Charles. She thought I was the fella, and I ain't one of your local lads.
All right, then. What about the male occupants of Riddlesdale Lodge?
Riddlesdale Lodge?
Huh? It's the only other place within miles of Grider's Hole, and it was stuffed with chaps on the night in question.
I can't see old Freddie facing up to a jealous Grimthorpe. Anyway, if he really is such a ferocious maniac, as you say, and he wouldn't think twice about cutting her throat, I honestly don't think she's going to play fast and loose with anyone.
No, wait a moment. You know, there's a certain sort of fella, attractive to women, supremely confident in his own powers, who, once he'd laid eyes on her, couldn't rest until he'd made her his mistress. I'm sorry to say this, Polly, old thing, but of all the runners in the Riddlesdale stable, only one seems to fit the bill.
Dennis.
I know it's a rotten thing to say, old girl. You know, you've been engaged to him and all that.
That's all right. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't even surprise me frightfully. Dennis was... Well, he had rather continental ideas about marriage and that sort of thing. I really don't think he'd think it mattered very much.
Yeah, now, wait a moment. What about the letter he had that night? You know, Marshbank said that he didn't open it at the time, but just the writing on the envelope cheered him up no end. Now, supposing that came from Mrs. Grimthorpe.
What, arranging a rendezvous?
Well, why not?
But your brother said he found Cathcart in a filthy temper.
All right. Well, he expected the letter to contain good news, like Mrs. Grimthorpe arranging to meet him. But when he read it in his bedroom, it was bad news. She's got the wind up because her husband's beginning to suspect.
Well, then no rendezvous.
Oh, yes. She also knows that he's going into Stapley to buy farm machinery. She knows that he's staying overnight, or rather, she thinks he is. So she wants to see Cathcart again to say goodbye.
Oh, and that doesn't suit Cathcart at all. So he flies into a rage, borrows your brother's revolver, and takes it along with the intention of killing her?
Sarcasm will get you nowhere, Charles. He knew all about Grimthorpe from Mrs. G. He was simply taking it along to be on the safe side.
All right. What happened next?
Light at the end of the tunnel. Grimthorpe not only suspects, he knows. So he's locked her up and lies in wait for Cathcart at the rendezvous. Jumps him, struggle. Cathcart's taken by surprise.
Peter, just a moment.
Gun goes off, kills him.
Look, when you met Mrs. Grimthorpe, she thought you were somebody else, you said.
Well, yes, she said something about, you must be mad coming here. You know, she obviously thought that I was Cathcart.
It won't do, Peter. She must have known that Cathcart was dead by then.
Damn, and blast, so she must.
Unless that surly old devil kept the news from her.
Of course. Well, that is exactly what he would do if he'd killed Cathcart himself.
Now, look, Grimthorpe says he went to Stapley that day. He says he went on Wednesday, stayed overnight, and came back Thursday. Now, if he can't prove he was at Stapley...
And admits he wasn't at Grider's Hole...
Where was he?
Oh, Charles, you gorgeous man. Hearts of oak and yeomen of England, there ought to be more like him, Mary. Bunter! Bunter, get down the bags. We're leaving for Riddlesdale at crack of dawn.
Very good, my lord.
Oh! And as we pass through York, we'll pop in and see poor old Jerry at the same time.
Damn you, Peter. First Impey Biggs comes down here to bully me, now you.
Look here, Jerry. All we want is to be...
All I want is for you to stay out of this. Didn't Impey give you the message?
Let up, old lad. If we can only prove...
It's not your job to prove anything, nor mine. It's theirs. They've got to show I was there killing the fellow. I'm bound to say where I was.
But why not, old lad? Why can't you let up on this alibi of yours? It would help no end, you know. After all, if a fellow won't say what he's been doing...
Peter.
But I mean it, Jerry. Why the devil can't you cut all this short, eh? I don't mean here and now with me, but to old Impey, or Murbles even, then we could all get down to it.
Now, keep out of this, do you hear me? If you're so dead set on making a public spectacle of yourself...
Damn it, man, you're the one that's making a public spectacle of himself. He never need have started if it hadn't been for you. Do you think that I enjoy seeing my brother and sister dragged through the course, reporters swarming all over the place? Paragraphs and news bills with your name staring at me from every corner, and the whole ghastly business ending in a great show in the House of Lords with a lot of people togged up in scarlet and ermine and all the rest of the damn fool jiggery-pokery? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to let myself go like that, but... No, if only I could make you see that... Well, if you won't say anything, you won't. Anyway, we're all working like blazes.
Leave it to the police. I know you like playing detectives, so if it's games you want...
My dear
You must
Jerry-
go and play them elsewhere.
And I'm sorry you find me such an irritated sort of person. I suppose it's hard for you to believe that I feel anything. But I do, seeing you like this. So I'll tell you this, old lad. In spite of what you think of me, I am going to get to the bottom of this little mess, even if Bunter and I both perish in the attempt.
You know all the pubs in Stapley, Bunter?
There are only 3, my lord. I tried each on different occasions.
Which is the best?
Well, my preference is for the Rose and Crown, my lord. A well-kept, very comfortable establishment. The landlord is a Londoner. He's very talkative, but he knows his business. And then there's the Bridge and Bottle, a corruption, I believe, of the Bridge Embattled.
Very erudite of you, Bunter. What's it like?
It's very near the marketplace, my lord, and in consequence does a brisk trade on market day. Excellent beer. I can't say the same for the landlord. He's a very surly, somewhat unforthcoming individual.
Ah, the kind of inland man, I feel, that would appeal to Mr. Grimthorpe. And the third pub?
Just a small beer house, my lord.
And?
They serve no spirits, my lord. It's largely patronized by farm labourers and others of the lower orders.
Well, it has a name, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Well, come on, Bunter, come on.
The Duke's Head, my lord.
Thank you, Bunter. Well, I'd be grateful if you'd start your inquiries there. I'll try my luck at the Bridge and Bottle, and we can join forces later for lunch at the Rose and Crown.
Ah, how do you do, sir?
Morning.
It's a lovely day.
Yes, it is indeed. And when did you last see Piccadilly Circus, landlord?
Oh, that's more than 35 years ago now, sir. As I always said, I'll go back. I promised I'd take the missus to show her Holborn Empire. That hasn't happened yet.
Lots of time, eh?
Well, I hope so, sir, yes. Well, now, what's going to be, sir?
Whiskey and splash, please.
Right.
Huh. Morning.
Excuse me, sir. Haven't I seen your face somewhere before?
No, I don't think so. Will you have any yourself, landlord?
Oh, sir, thank you very much. Oh, yes, well, half a bitter to me, sir.
How much is that?
That'll be 8pence halfpenny altogether, sir.
There we are.
Thank you, sir.
Keep the change.
Thank you, it's very kind of you, sir.
Tell me, do you know Mr. Grimthorpe by any chance?
Oh, I know 5 Mr. Grimthorpe, sir.
Uh-huh.
Which one are you meeting?
Mr. Grimthorpe of Grider's Hole.
He's a friend of yours?
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that, but I've met him, don't you know?
Ah, I've got it. Of course. I've got it. It's
Oh,
here.
splendid.
Lord Peter Wimsey. Of course, I knew your face. You're living over at Riddlesdale.
Oh, just staying there, you know.
Of course you are. Lord Peter Wimsey, the Sherlock Holmes of the West End, who is devoting all his time and energy to proving the innocence of his brother, the Duke of Denver. I know you won't mind my saying how very proud I am to have you in my bar. My lord?
Thank you.
Your lordship!
Oh, bung-ho. Well, look at the thing. Seeing that Felix seems to have slipped out of the bag, so to speak, do you have anywhere where we could talk more privately?
Oh, yes, of course, my lord, yes. Jem, look after the bar, will you? Yes. Will you come this way, my lord?
Thank you very much.
Right,
Thank you.
you shan't be disturbed. Can you hold Okay. There we are. Will you sit here, my lord?
Thank you very much,
And
Steve.
shall I freshen that whiskey?
No, that's top note, thanks.
Right. Well, my name is Watchett, my lord. Tim Watchett.
Uh-huh.
And if there's anything I can do to help you, I shall be only too happy.
Well, I'm much obliged, Mr. Watchett. Information is what I am after.
Yeah.
I don't mind telling you that my inquiries over the road at the Bridge and Bottle weren't exactly a roaring success.
Oh, no. Oh, Greg, our cousin, no, I bet they weren't. Oh, he's a proper case and half, that one. Never mind, sir. You go ahead and ask what questions you like.
About Mr. Grimthorpe of Grider's Hole.
I comes here, but not often. You were in last market day with Zedekiah Bourne. But on the day you mean... Oh, come to think of it, Mr. Bunter, you could do worse than have a word with Ned Rowbottom.
And who is this Mr. Rowbottom?
Well, he runs the carrier service. Lives in Wyndon Street.
Do you remember if he came into Stapley on the 13th? That's the Wednesday before last.
Yes, I recollect, my lord. I recollect thinking it was funny him coming in that day, because it wasn't a market day. He said he'd come to see some machinery, seed drills or something.
Do you remember what time he came in?
No, excuse me, my lord. I don't find that. Bet? Oh, Bet.
How do you do?
Bet, will you tell his lordship here whether you remember Mr. Grimthorpe lunching here on Wednesday, November the 13th last?
Grimthorpe, a Griders Hill.
That's the one.
Aye, he took his lunch here and he'd come back to sleep.
You're sure about that?
I am not mistook. I waited on him and took his water up to him in the morning, and he only gave me tuppence.
Monstrous. But you're certain that it was the Wednesday night that he slept here?
Why, that's for sure. I remember they were all talking about murder in the bar next morning when Grimthorpe comes in.
That sounds conclusive. And what did Mr. Grimthorpe have to say about that?
Oh, it is strange you should ask. Everyone noticed how queer he acted. He went all white like a sheet, and then he looked at both his hands, one after t'other, and then he pushes his hair off his forehead, dazed like. We reckoned he'd not got over drink like from the night before.
Does he drink a lot?
He's more often drunk than not. Though folk do say...
What?
'Tweren't always so. He were gentler once, they say. But jealousy, all in his mind, they say, has turned him so. I wouldn't be his wife now for £500.
Do you remember what time he went to bed on that night?
Oh, close on 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning?
Why, he were locked out, and Jem had to come down and let him in. Drunk as a lord he were, and all plaster with mud. You ask Jem.
I will. Well, I'm uncommonly grateful to you, Miss Elizabeth. And I shall be even more grateful if you would regard our conversation as confidential and keep it to yourself.
Yes, sir. I can stay mum for those as please me.
Splendid. Well, I'm expecting Bunter, my man, to be joining me here for lunch, Mr. Watchet. Do you think we could even hear?
Oh, yes, no trouble at all, my lord. How soon?
45 minutes?
Yes, that's all right.
I'd like to have a word with Jem, and then I have one other call to make. Do you know who sold these seed drills to Mr. Grimthorpe?
Well, there's only one place in Stapley that sells agricultural machinery, my lord, and that's Gooch's at Trimmer's Lane. Ask for Tom Gooch.
I am no end obliged to you, Mr. Watchet.
Pleasure, my lord. I'll send Jem in.
Some more treacle tart?
No, thank you, Elizabeth.
No, thank you.
However, our compliments to Mrs. Watchet for a capital lunch. Hardly a wasted morning, Bunter.
No, my lord.
In fact, I think we've really done remarkably well. Grimthorpe's movements on the 13th or 14th October. Arrives Rosencrown, 12:30 p.m. Wednesday. Has lunch at 1. 3 o'clock calls on Gooch and orders 2 new sea drills. 4:30 has drink with Gooch to clinch the bargain. 5 o'clock calls on Ned Rowbottom, the carrier, about delivering cattle cake and dog food. Rowbottom absent. And still is, but not for much longer, I hope.
Mrs. Rowbottom expected him home at 1 o'clock for lunch, my lord. But she said that she'd tell him to join us here.
Splendid. 6 o'clock, he has a drink with Z.B.
Zedekiah Bone, my lord.
Of course. At the Bridge and Bottle. 6:45, calls on Mrs. Rowbottom.
Ned Rowbottom still not at home. At 7, he is seen by Constable Z15 drinking with several men at the Bridge and Bottle. Is heard to use threatening language in respect of some...
Person unknown.
Thank you, my lord.
7:25, leaves Bridge and Bottle. And now comes the yawning gap, Bunter. At 1:45 a.m. on the following morning, Jem the potman admits Grimthorpe to the Rose and Crown. That's 7:20 on the Wednesday evening to 1:45 a.m. the following morning. 6 hours, Bunter. Then, at 9 a.m., he is woken by Elizabeth Dobbin, bringing him a can of hot water. 10 a.m. in bar of the Rose and Crown, and he behaves suspiciously on hearing a man has been murdered at Riddlesdale. 10:15, he cashes a cheque for £129.17 and eightpence at Lloyd's Bank, and at 11:05, he leaves the Rose and Crown for Griders Hole. How far is Riddlesdale, Bunter?
About 13 3/4 miles.
7:20 to 1:45, and the shot was heard at 10 minutes to midnight. Well, he hardly had time to make the journey there and back on foot, even if he did go. So how the devil...
What to see me, sir? Rowbottom, sir. Ned Rowbottom.
Ah, Mr. Rowbottom.
Tim told me to come on through, you know, and being busy at bar.
Yes, splendid. Do. There we are now. Sit down. Yes, too good of you. Yes, most welcome. Would you have some cheese?
Oh, thank you, no, sir. No, I've just had a bite of lunch. To be honest, you know, I've got a cartload of deliveries waiting out.
So you'll want to be getting on, of course. Yes, well, my name is Wimsey, by the way. And this here...
Oh, Mr. Bunter, according to my missus.
That's right.
She said you wanted a word with me.
Right again.
About what, sir?
The events on the night of November the 13th. Now, that was the,
Night of the murder?
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, I remember it very well, sir. Yeah. That was the night I was late getting back home.
Oh, really?
Well, I was reckoning, to be home about 11 tonight. But the horse cast a shoe, between King's Fenton, and Riddlesdale. Well, it was too late, to go and get a blacksmith that time on it, so I had to walk the horse all the way back to Stapley.
I say, what damn rotten luck.
Aye. Not 13 for nothing, Mr. says to me when I got home.
No, indeed not.
No.
Yeah.
It was a bad night all round, sir. It was a bad night. The only good thing about it was, getting to Lord and Glory, before closing time to have a pint with landlord.
Is that in Riddlesdale?
Riddlesdale, that's right.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so there is some justice. And after that?
Well, I walks on, don't I? Until I get about a mile on the road to Stapley, and I see him.
Who?
Grimthorpe. Oh, right sorry mess he was in and all, and anything but sober. Well, I couldn't leave him like that, No, I couldn't, could I? So, up on I says, and I gives him a lift straight back here.
What, here?
Aye, Rose and Crown, aye.
What time was this, Mr. Rowbottom?
Oh, I don't know. Jem will tell you. Yeah, he opened door for us. Well, past 1:45. Yeah, I didn't stay. I went on home and right glad to see it and all I was.
Glad you're not half, eh? Mr. Grimthorpe, did he say what he was doing out on the road, why he was in such a mess?
Said no, he didn't. No. All he did was curse bicycle for tipping him off.
Bicycle?
Why, that were a right wreck. Handlebars all bent, wheels all buckled.
Whose bicycle? His own?
Oh, I don't know whose it was, but there it were in ditch, sir, yeah. And there it stayed.
By Jove.
That's where I wanted to go home to and get to bed.
Well, bless you, Mr. Rowbottom. I know you're a busy man. I won't keep you a moment longer. And I'm uncommonly grateful for your help.
Oh, I don't know about help, sir, but there's nothing else.
No. You shuffle along by all means. And once again, Mr. Rowbottom, most grateful, most grateful.
Oh, just one thing, sir.
What's that?
Well, I suppose it's not important.
Yeah, Mr. Rowbottom, simply must hear.
Oh, well, there's an old lad called Groot, and he lives in a hut on Wemlin Fell. I was round there last week, letting up a parcel, you see, and he said something to me about a gentleman knocking him up in the middle at night, said he was lost, wanted to know a road to Riddlesdale. He thinks it was night of murder and all.
Time? Time means nought, lad over here.
And you can't remember for certain whether it was the night of the 13th?
No, not for sure, but I were about then.
Do you remember what sort of clothes he was wearing?
Soft hat, top coat, and I wore leggings.
Leggings? Not riding a bicycle by any chance?
Bicycle?
No, obviously not. How did he speak, this chappie?
He was southerner.
Southerner?
Like thee, lad.
What happened then?
Well, clouds were thickening like they do this time of year. I pointed out way down to the track to Riddlesdale. He gave a shilling in my hand. The last thing I saw him, he was walking off into the mist.
Would you recognize him again if you saw him?
Nay, it were a dark, rough night. His collar were up, his hat were down. Nay, I wouldn't swear to if he passed here now.
But if Mr. Grimthorpe passed...
Grimthorpe?
You'd recognize him?
I'd recognise Grimthorpe, I would.
But would you say? Thank you, Mr. Groot. You've been most helpful. Good day to you.
Half-crown.
Southerner, eh? Not a bit helpful, really. In fact, he's only added to the puzzle.
Perhaps we should be returning to Riddlesdale, my lord.
You know, the more I think about it, Bunter, the more abso-bally-lutely positive I am that the answer to this whole ghastly mess lies over there.
In Grider's hole, my lord?
Yes, Bunter. Come on.
Bunter! Here, my lord.
Oh, thank God, I thought I'd lost you. Afraid we haven't been too clever, have we?
My fault, my lord. Mr. Hardwell warned me of these fogs suddenly descending in the fells.
Did he say how long they lasted?
No regular habits, I believe. Sometimes it moves, Other times it stays for days in the one place.
We're not staying for days in the one place. It's too damn cocky for a start. When you feel my stick, Bunter, grab it and move in. All right?
Yes, my lord.
Here it is, coming round now.
Yes,
Good. Have it. Good, in you come. Splendid old thing. Now let's have your belt. Don't worry, it's not the blind leading the blind. I took a bearing on the farm before this thing swallowed us up. Splendid. Righty-ho. Forward, men. Can't be far now.
Horse, my lord.
Oh, loot. Come on, Bunter.
No! No, don't! For God's sake, my lord! The bog!
Keep away, don't move, he's got me. Trip right into it. Better not come near or it'll get you too. Look, we'll yell for a bit. Can't be far from Strider's Hole.
If your lordship will do the yelling, I think I can get to you.
Ahoy! Help! Ahoy! We should keep away, Bunter. Where's the sense of both of us going down?
Keep shouting, my lord.
Help!
I'm coming.
I'm up to my thighs already! Help! Help!
Keep on shouting, my lord.
Help!
I won't be long.
Help!
Shout again, my lord.
Here!
I'm sorry I'm taking so long, my lord. I daren't come any faster.
Over here! Help! Better get out while there's still a chance. I'm up to my chest now.
No, brother. No, nothing way to peg out. You won't peg out. Now, keep still. Stretch out your hand in the direction of my voice.
Help!
Keep still, my lord. Thank God. Hang on. You'll have to keep shouting, my lord.
Help! Some sort of thing. Beastly sorry to have let you in for all this.
Don't mention it, my lord.
Let me release my left hand. Help!
Hello! Where are you? Over here! Follow the direction of our voices!
Oi!
Help, is this your stick? That's it. That's it. There's a string. Follow the string. But hurry, for God's sake.
Aye, all right. Hang on. Just bring up the hurdles. How many of you?
2!
Are you deep in?
1 nearly up to his neck. Have you got a rope?
All right. Right, that's right. Keep close. We're coming. Here, lad. Take that.
Won't be long now.
Right. 1, 2, 3. Heave. Right again. All right. He's coming. He's coming.
Not many as falls into Peter's pot and lives to tell the tale.
Peter's pot. Nearly potted Peter.
Morning, my lord.
Hello, Bunter.
I trust your lordship is rested?
Oh, yeah, a bit sore, you know. Otherwise, all right. Oh, thank you, Bunter.
The room, my lord, is theirs, the Grimthorpes.
Great Scott.
He was very much opposed to us having it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But she, Mrs. Grimthorpe, that is, showing great courage and kindness, insisted on it. And then the man, Jake, pointed out that it might be to Mr. Grimthorpe's advantage to treat him and us with consideration. And then he gave in, but with very ill grace, my lord.
Yes, he was standing over there when I woke up, Bunter. Positive vision. Vanished like a vision, too.
A very comely woman, my lord.
Yeah. How are you, Bunter, anyway?
My arms are a trifle fatigued, my lord.
I'm surprised they weren't pulled out of their sockets. This business of you saving my life, Bunter, is becoming a bit of a habit, what? It's the third time since Passchendaele. Oh, well, I won't embarrass you with words, old lad. You know how I feel.
Thank you very much, my lord.
Thank you. Well, I hope they looked after you last night. Wasn't exactly sitting up and taking notice myself.
I slept extremely well, my lord.
What, on that?
In the circumstances, I felt it would be better to remain with your lordship. It was not a question of your health. I was a bit uneasy about Mr. Grimthorpe's intentions. He was not too sober last night.
You seen him this morning?
No, my lord, but he won't be far away. You can depend on that.
Strikes me that frightful fellow's only got to spot an unfamiliar pair of trousers and he unleashes the wolfhounds. How about my clothes?
Mrs. Grimthorpe washed your shirt and undergarments, my lord, and I brushed and dried your suit to the best of my ability. It is not as I would wish it to be, but I think your lordship will be able to wear it to Riddlesdale.
Oh, well done, Bunter.
I fear there's very little chance of a hot bath, my lord, but I shall try and procure some hot water and a razor.
Stout fella. Morning. It appears I'm no end in your debt. Can you don't let me disturb you? I'll just get some bags on and I'll come down. Bunter, I am without doubt the biggest ass in creation.
My lord.
When something is right under my nose, I get a telescope and look for the answer instantly. Well, I honestly deserve to be dangled upside down as a cure for anemia of the brain.
Indeed, my lord?
Indeed. My lord, Jerry. Oh, you rotten ass, Jerry, you silly old blighter. Why couldn't you have told Merbles on me? Look at that, Bunter, look at it. They're stuck in the window frame for anyone to find. My brother, my kind, stupid, stubborn brother, and his English gentleman ideas of honour.
Good gracious me. It's His Grace's letter from Egypt. It's from that Mr. Freeball.
Just like Jerry.
signs his name to the business in letters a foot high, then goes off and is chivalrously silent in order to safeguard a woman's reputation.
I know nothing about your brother.
I'm sorry, but that's not true.
I know nothing. And if you know what's best, you're believing now. My husband doesn't care for strangers.
Mrs. Grimthorpe.
Please.
Mrs. Grimthorpe, you know that my brother is in prison awaiting trial for murder.
If my husband sees us together...
A murder which took place on the 13th of November last.
I've already told you. It has nothing to do with me.
He has, in the most determined manner, refused to say where he was between the hours of 11 and 3 on that night. If he goes on refusing, he will be in grave danger of losing his life.
I'm afraid I can't help you. You're wasting time.
Mrs. Grimthorpe. Mrs. Grimthorpe. I know my own brother. He feels in honour bound not to disclose his whereabouts.
If the Duke will not speak, you should respect his reasons.
If he chose to speak, Mrs. Grimthorpe, he could bring a witness.
Will you please go?
Very well, you leave me no alternative. I shall have to produce the proof that I have and let matters take their course.
What do you mean? Proof?
I can prove that on the night of the 13th, my brother slept in the room that I occupied last night.
It's a lie.
It's the truth.
I shall deny it. He will deny it.
Are you saying that he didn't sleep there?
Yes.
Then how did this letter become wedged in the bedroom window?
Oh, God help me. God help me.
All right. All right, now don't worry. Now tell me the truth, all of it. Then we can see what we can do about getting you out of this. Now, he was here on that night, wasn't he? What time did he come?
Morning.
Morning.
You recovered then?
Fit as a fiddle, thanks. Come to think of it, why a fiddle? I have got to know. When did he come?
12.
And who let him in?
I did.
What time did he leave you?
A little after 2.
Yes, that fits in. 3/4 of an hour to get here and the same to get back. And he stuck that in the window to stop it rattling?
I was that frightened I thought every sound was my husband coming back.
But he was staying overnight in Staple.
Oh, he told me he was going to, but I didn't trust him. I knew he'd suspected something for some time. Oh, he didn't have real proof. But if he ever got it, well, don't you understand? He'd kill me. He'd throw me into Peter's pot and there wouldn't be anyone to pull me out.
Mrs. Grimthorpe, I'm deeply sorry for you. If I can get my brother out of this without bringing you into it, I promise you I will.
Call me to give evidence, he will know. And he will kill me.
If I'm obliged to use your evidence, I will ensure that you have police protection.
For the rest of my life?
Once we get to town, we will set about freeing you from him.
If you call me, I'm done for.
Morning, Mr. Grimthorpe. Just thanking your wife for all you've done for us, don't you know? Extraordinarily kind. Afraid we shall have to be getting along now. Enormously grateful. Incidentally, I understand that you lost a horse in that most frightful bog last night.
What business has coming here on my property?
Oh, none, absolutely none. Got lost in the fog and dropped in the bog. Oh, sounds rather silly put like that, doesn't it? Anyway, my dear chap, I don't want anybody to suffer on my behalf, so here's 1, 2, 3 rather bedraggled tenors. Still a bit damp, I'm afraid, but I'm sure they won't worry about that at the bank. With my most grateful thanks.
Now get off my land.
Certainly. And thank you once again for your most kind hospitality.
And don't show their face round here again.
I think you can depend upon that, Mr. Grimthorpe. Nasty, damp thing to keep outside the front door, what?
Of course, I realise it's very disagreeable having to give Mrs. Grimthorpe away.
Disagreeable?
Well, these things have to be done.
Look, Charles.
Peter, you have no alternative. As from now, your brother is headed straight towards the gallows. Who knows, perhaps with this...
Yeah, but is that enough? You know as well as I do, old lad, without a disinterested witness, an alibi is the most difficult form of defence to establish.
Yes, but we have the letter.
Yes, but who is to say that I didn't put it there myself? You know, and then pretend to find it.
But Bunter saw you find it, didn't
no, he didn't. Oh, no. That precise moment, he was out of the room fetching shaving water.
Oh, was he?
Moreover, only Mrs. Grimthorpe knows the really important point. The time that Jerry arrived and departed.
Well, in that case, we'll have to keep her up our sleeves for a while and concentrate on finding the real criminal. Oh, by the way...
While I remember... What?
No, after you.
Well, while I was in Riddlesdale, I discovered something. The study window had been forced.
What, the Duke's study?
That's right. There were distinct marks on it. I know it was a long time since the murder, but there were scratches all over the catch, the sort that a penknife might make.
Damn, I should have missed that.
Well, at the time, there was absolutely no reason to look for anything. Anyway, I had a word with Fleming. And as far as he could remember, when he went down the following morning, the window was open. What were you going to say?
Hmm? Oh, just that I haven't been exactly idle myself since you've been gone.
Oh, what's that?
Telegram from the Sûreté. They've traced one of Cathcart's banknotes.
Where to?
And Monsieur Francois, who owns some property near the Étoile and lets it out in apartments.
Apartments? Manon Lescaut. Well, boil my brains. Here we have been worrying about Jerry and Mary and hunting after Grimthorpes and Goyle, whatever the fellow's name, you know, the Soviet Club, and all the time. Oh, really? Manon, Charles. If I had had the sense of a louse, that little book would have told me everything.
Peter, I have never read Manon Lescaut, and I haven't the faintest idea what you're talking about.
No, I don't suppose you have. Will you come over here, old lad? Now, you have a look at this. This is the blotting pad out of Jerry's study in Riddlesdale. You study that carefully and let me know what you find.
Well, now, a couple of ink blots, and the Duke signed his name underneath 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, all right, well, there's no mischief there.
Oh, and there's some sprawly message about 5 something of fine.
Yeah,
something?
well, the 5 may have some cabalistic meaning. I admit I don't know what it is.
Well, hang on, there's a little fragment here. O-E on one line, and is F-O-U below. Is found, I suppose.
Found?
Well, or his foul something or other. I say, do you think the Duke was talking about Cathcart's foul play?
No. That ain't Jerry's writing.
Well, whose is it?
Well, I can but guess. Look, try the line above.
Well, it's just O-E.
What do you make of that?
I don't know. Poem, poet, manoeuvre, could be anything.
Ah, manoeuvre's getting warmer. Not lashings of English words with O-E in the middle, and they're written very close together like a diphthong.
Well, then perhaps it isn't an English word.
Exactly.
French?
Oh, you're inspired, Charles.
Let's see. Sir, earth, birth.
Yeah, you were warmer the first time.
What with sir?
Uh-huh.
Cur.
Cur. Now, hold on a moment, just a second. Have a look at the bit that follows it. No, the bit that goes before.
E-R, C-E-R. Ursa.
Ursa. Erse. C-E-R-S. Erse. How about Perse?
Yes, you could be right.
Probably Persera le Coeur. Now, is found bit?
Well, it's, is F-O-U, is foo.
Who?
No, I didn't say who, I said
Yes,
foo.
I know, but I said who.
Who?
Yes, who? Who is foo?
Wait a minute. Not is, something I-S.
Aha! S-U-I-S. Suis. Je suis fou. And I will bet that the next 2 words are de douleur.
Oh, hang on a moment, you've lost me now.
Je suis fou de douleur. I am mad, I am crazy with grief.
And if you're right?
Well, it tells us everything.
Nothing.
Everything, Charles. That was written the day Cathcart died. A passionate love letter in French. Well, now, who in that cold Yorkshire house would have been writing phrases like, will pierce the heart, I'm mad with grief? Well, not Jerry. I've told you, it ain't his fist. Marshbanks, not Pygmalion likely. Freddie? Huh, he couldn't write a passionate love letter in English, let alone French.
You're trying to prove it's Cathcart.
Well, it ain't Mary, not unless she'd changed her sex. A girl would have to write, je suis folle.
Then I suppose...
It's Cathcart, Charles. Cathcart. Bunter! Cathcart, the romantic Francophile. Well, he spent nearly all his life in France. All his attitudes were French.
Yes, but Peter...
My lord?
Mm-hmm. What time's the next train, Bunter?
Where to, my lord?
Paris, you ass.
9:22 Victoria.
Then pack my toothbrush and call me a cab.
Very good, man.
9:22, just got time to catch you.
But, Peter, what light does this throw on Cathcart's murder?
No time now, lad. Manon. Read it for yourself. Manon Lescaut.
Manon Lescaut.